Hello, my name is Timeless, and this is Kabbalistic News. Today is Memorial Day, and being a Vietnam veteran, I have thought a lot about war and our country's government and democracy. And it seems to me, looking from the side of the Kabbalah, from the mystical understanding of what world is, that the Creator commanded us, all human beings, from Adam to Noah, the seven commandments. And people don't know about these because there's no religion of the seven commandments. But these are ancient dictates from the king of the world, one who runs the world. And the first two are about the Creator, that not to serve idols, not to serve something other than the Creator, and not to use the Creator's name in vain. You know, like goddamning cool. And then there's human laws: don't steal, don't murder. And then there are the things that we need to decide upon how to make the restrictions, which are not to torture animals, not to hurt animals, and about sexuality. And the seventh one is really the most important one, is to make courts of law. And it's not the democracy that we're really exporting. You know, the idea that everyone has an equal vote, that's not really true anyways. But what we're exporting is our type of law called adversarial law. And we also have an adversarial system of government. Not surprisingly, since our country was founded on a war, and our first president was the great general of the war, General Washington, President Washington, George Washington. So everything about our country is about fighting. And after World War II, we had, what's the word? Fixed. We had made our country, there's a word for, I can't remember, but made our country into like a machine of war. And so to not have any war means we don't have any work. And by exporting what we call democracy, which has says a lot of nice things, but with this adversarial system, which really means the one who wins, that's justice. It is close to like might is right. And what it does, it exports things to places where that's not indigenous to the place. Take the Middle East. The Middle East is a tribal place. I mean, the Middle East is a Semitic land. The Jewish people and the Arab people. We're the Semitic people. And both of us are tribal people. From the beginning, we both had 12 tribes. And we were always tribal, and we're still tribal people. That's why we're called Jewish, because of the tribe of Yehuda. They returned after the first exile to Persia, Babylon and Persia. And as I published yesterday in my little poem about the human earth, that the earth is a human body. And I think I didn't really mention the poem, but like the actual brain, I think, are the lobes of like Scandinavia, and Eurasia, is the shoulders and the chest, and and the fingers coming up, the hands coming up on each side. Japan and England, the arms are under the water, and the legs are Africa and South America, and the back is Canada, and the buttocks is America, with the Mississippi down the middle. And the point is that, when we work as a body, we don't expect each part of the body to have an equal way of functioning and needs. And so if you export like the way the head understands things into the heart, well, the heart has a different way of understanding things. You don't want the head to overrule the heart because the head is stronger, So it's the same way in the world that we don't, if we export our things to other countries who have different indigenous ways to understand justice, other than, if you're stronger, you win, and you put this alien idea into the country as though this is freedom, so you're going to bring about, a lot of internal strife like they have in Myanmar. And one other thing I wanted to say about China, the same thing goes for China. Now, China is taking care of 1.5 billion people. And I think they deserve to be, a little bit off the normality because they're able to do this. And it means that they, have a little more of this, a little more than that. It's not about fairness. See, that's the whole idea of an adversary system. You make it all fair, and now the strongest one can win. But it's more like golf, where one gets like a handicap. And China deserves a handicap. Look where they have come in a very few years. I mean, when I was growing up, man, China was not on the map. They didn't teach you about China. There was no China. We didn't recognize China as a place. It had 1 billion people. We didn't recognize it. And since the 70s, when China suddenly opened up, what they have done in like these 50 years is unbelievable. And this is where the majority of people on the earth live. China and India, that's the majority population. And this is the chest of the world. And we should allow them to do what they need to do. They're good at it. And America should do what we need to do. We're the buttocks. And the buttocks is, it's the seat of power. But we need to take from the whole world and produce something that's really some good shit that other people can use. So there's been Cabalistic News. Happy Memorial Day. Remember the fallen soldiers, man.